The retail crime group set up to deal with retail crime spent $3,000, our money, on a morning tea. How do you justify that? Our political panel this morning, Labor's Carmel Sepuloni, National's Paul Goldsmith. Good morning.
Good morning.
Top of the morning to you, Ryan.
Top of the morning. What's for morning tea today?
Well, I'm going to be flying, so I think I'll get one of those little biscuits and a glass of water.
Which is all they should have had at this committee meeting, no?
Yeah. They clearly overcated, and that was pretty bad. But I'm not going to get into the details of the catering of the retail advisory group. They're focused on giving me advice about how we can continue our very good progress at pushing back on the wall of crime that we inherited. And so, everybody has a crack at Sonny Kaushal about something every month, but he's focused on doing that job.
Yeah, but you said you would come in with a relentless focus on government spending, and you're not willing to do anything about this. $3,000 for a morning tea, I mean, what was it? Yeah,
well, no, they overcated. There's no question about it. But I mean, if you're suggesting that I should sack him over that, I think that's probably a bit of an overreaction. No, I'm not going to defend $3,000.
What about paying it back? Do you know what it was? A caviar?
Oopsie daisy.
Champagne?
I lost my earpiece. Sorry about that. What was the question?
I thought you might be picking up some change for us there, Paul. Was it caviar? Was it champagne? Do we know?
No, I was there. I was speaking actually about our citizens' arrest proposals, and I think they probably had too many scones. They overcated.
Oh, wait, you were there?
Very expensive scones.
Yeah, yes. Carmel, what's the most expensive scone you've ever bought? Goodness.
Well, I certainly haven't had a morning tea where someone spent over $3,000 on scones. Those would be some amazing scones, I'd have to say. I think New Zealanders are looking at this and thinking, hang on a second, we're doing it tough, and the government's talking about reining the spending in, and when they see this, they're like, what's going on here? I think that's the general reaction that you can expect from the public.
Yeah, it's random. It's random. But in saying that, the crime group is only in existence because, Carmel, you guys stuffed up so much.
No, I don't think that's the
Well,
case
where did crime go when you were in power?
Well, I mean, I will say, we had a spike in youth crime, and we put measures in place that even this government say have been effective, and they've held on to, particularly the measures that we put in place around youth that were committing crimes at the time. And so those full-on wraparound measures that we put in place have been kept by this government.
All right.
I want to know, though,
I don't recall too many of those.
What recommendations you've actually taken on from the retail group?
Well, we've got a crimes amendment bill coming into the House, which were introduced a couple of days ago, which changes those citizens' arrest powers so that people can hang on to people until the police arrive. We're putting an infringement regime for shoplifting so that there are consequences. A whole bunch of stuff. We've got trespass laws. They've actually been a very productive group. Yes, they overcated in this instance, but look, I think most New Zealanders can see actually we've got to focus on the important stuff.
I know, we do have to focus on the important stuff, but what's more important than money? Are there going to be consequences for overcatering?
Yes, I should remind you that the money that they're spending is money that has been taken off criminals under the Criminal Proceeds Act. We should be equally careful with that, but just remember that it's the criminals who are paying for this, and that's the good thing about the retail group.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about the climate targets. So the recommendations from the Climate Change Commission, Carmel government has rejected all of them. Do we not just need to be a bit real that we're probably not going to reach our Paris target, the agreed targets, and that's okay because a lot of other countries won't either, and our industry will suffer if we do?
No, I don't think that's okay at all. There are huge implications with climate change for our economy, for us socially, and we've always been world leaders. There are also implications to not meeting our obligations globally. There are trade implications, our reputation is at risk, and so there's so much on the line here, and it's incredibly concerning that this government doesn't seem to be taking it seriously, even though we've seen the impacts of climate change in recent years.
Minister, is it fair to say we're not going to get there and it's kind of okay?
No, I wouldn't put it that way. We're doing our best to meet the goals that we set out. course, the government gets advice from the Commission. We also get advice from government departments, and we also have to make a judgment on behalf of all New Zealanders. And we were concerned about the costs of the proposals they put forward, and as all New Zealanders are conscious of, we're trying our best to balance the various competing desires to keep costs under control for New Zealanders, which ultimately flow through to New Zealanders trying to buy stuff and the cost of living, which we're all concerned about. So that's what we're focused on.
What about growth? The government's books yesterday was $700 million worse than forecast because we're not getting the growth, we're not getting the tax take that the government needs, and that means that things are getting worse fiscally. Is it,
well, look, they were... They were monthly figures, and they bounce around all the time, so there are monthly figures. Look, I mean, nobody denies the fact we've been through a very tough period in New Zealand. Good news is that the recovery is working its way up from the south. The South Island is booming, Christchurch is booming, and everybody I'm talking to in Auckland has said the tide is turning now in Auckland and people are starting to spend and invest, and we're doing everything we can as a government to encourage that. When you're talking about fixing the basics is about getting inflation under control so interest rates come down and that has more money flowing into the economy.
He's not wrong,
and that's what we're doing.
Carmel, I mean, I know you'll want to get a political hit in here, but if we're being real, if you talk to people, and I know not for everybody and I know not everywhere, but the feeling, the vibe is that the tide is finally turning on the economy. Do you not hear that too?
No, in fact, I mean, I talk to everyday people all of the time when I'm out and about, and they're certainly not feeling any reprieve. They're not feeling any relief with the cost of living. The government's tax take is down because so many businesses are struggling. So many have had to close their doors because the economy's been performing so poorly. So many New Zealanders have lost jobs over the course of the last 2 years. So, the government can talk a big game and talk up the economy, but that is not how your everyday New Zealander is feeling. They're not feeling better off.
Okay. Hey, we get...
And Labor's solution is more tax.
Hey, we have to leave it there, you guys. This is my last show for the year, so I just want to say to both of you, thank you very much for being on our panels throughout the year. Merry Christmas. I hope you both have...
How come you're knocking off so early, Ryan?
Well, I'm not finishing...
It's only the start of December. What's going on?
I'm not finishing
we're still going for another couple of weeks.
Yes, I know you are. I'm still going too on radio. I'll be doing Drive for the next couple of weeks. Goldie, so you can come and spend time with me there.
Have a good Christmas.
Okay, all right, all the best.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.